Hi, everybody. This is Shannon Price, the Mind Mechanic, helping you navigate your life every day. Welcome and thanks for tuning into today's podcast. This podcast is free and is brought to you to help you navigate your life mentally and to bring overall wellness that you may have been missing or you didn't even realize that you were missing. So thank you to everyone who has been listening and leaving us 5-star ratings and reviews. So please go to YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Music Podcasts, or anywhere that you listen to a podcast and leave us a 5-star rating and a short written review. I'm trying really hard to get to 500 ratings and would really appreciate it if you would help out. Each month, I'll choose a name at random and send you out some Mind Mechanic swag. So once again, if you find these podcasts helpful and interesting, let me know. My goal in life is to change the way people see and treat themselves, to educate, empower, and evolve. If you consider all the ways that we have made ourselves feel stuck throughout our lives, becoming unstuck is just a change in perspective, a change of mindset and behavior. So how would it feel if you couldn't find that feeling of anxiety or fear any longer because you know how to control it and take charge? I know how to help you help yourself, and I know how to make it stop once and for all. So spend a little time with me and learn how to do that for the rest of your life. Today, I am joined by my super close friends from the UK who I consider my family, and we're here to talk to you about burnout. Do you know what burnout is? And did you know that there are 3 dimensions of burnout? Well, if you're ready to find out more about this, and I know I am, here's Laura and Barry Ash, the founders and owners of Rock Solid Health. Former police and prison officers, Rock Solid was born out of a crisis after Laura was medically retired from the police force. During their short time in business, which is 8 years, they have been guest speakers and presenters on multiple stages, including the UK's largest fitness expo, Body Power, and have appeared on the Channel 5-star TV show, It's Your Fault I'm Fat, as trainers to a family in health crisis. Quite successfully, I must say. They've written articles for magazines and also have been featured on radio shows talking all things mental and physical health and how to look after your own well-being. They're authors of a children's book, The Adventures of the Good Food Gang, which I have, and have taught over 5,040 children in local schools with their team, educating children about where food comes from and how it affects their body. And adults can take note of that. Laura and Barry work with professionals, business owners, executives, and corporate companies to combat burnout, to ensure healthy work-life balances, to forge healthy and happy individuals. Changing lives is always the goal. And now I'm going to introduce you to Laura and Barry Ash. And my first question to you guys is, how did we meet?
Hey, Shannon, it's so lovely to see you. Actually see you and hear you.
You too.
So how did we meet? Like you and I?
Yeah.
Well, really, that was a bit of magic over the internet. And this is why we love the internet, isn't it?
It's a phenomenal tool. It brings us so close together. There's so much distance between us, but with the power of the internet, it's just like, it's easy peasy.
Do you know what though, Shannon? Like the relationship that we have, it's almost like I can't actually remember when we met. It just feels like we've always been in each other's lives.
I feel the same exactly.
You know, and I know that I think you definitely met us because we were talking a lot about the control stuff. Yes. And you're so tenacious and you were like, right, that is what I want to do. And you literally moved mountains to get us over to come and see you, where we did some control workshops with you guys. And then we came back later on with Tim and Britt, and, you know, we did the train, you know, to train you guys to do what you do now, which you do so beautifully.
And we love it. And we love it. And it does feel like we've always known each other forever. And the minute we met, I knew we had that connection.
Yeah.
So today, as you have gone through your lives, you've always helped people, and you help people by talking about your own struggles that you've conquered and how they can do the same. How did you come to help people with burnout and help them know what it is?
So, I mean, our backgrounds, as you hear, are very much within the police and the prison, aren't they?
Yeah, and there's something that those industries are suffering with all the time. And over this pandemic period, I believe it's just getting worse and worse and worse. But also it's business owners and entrepreneurs and people are like that who sacrifice their health and their well-being for the sake of their business. They just put everything they've got in it until they go bang. And this is what me and Loz, I believe, have been put on this earth to do, is to help people live that abundant, fulfilling life and do what they are so passionate about, and without the burnout, without getting to that point where they fall out of love with what they do because of their health deterioration.
I know, especially for me, I'm quite passionate about the mental health side of it and the emotional side of it, because for your listeners, you know, as you heard, I was in the police force for 10 years and I was medically retired because I have a diagnosis of bipolar and OCD. And we decided to start Rock Solid 8 years ago. You know, if you're listening, you know, but 2021. And, you know, we were running the business and managing my mental health at the same time. But in 2017, I suffered one of the biggest breakdowns that I'd had since leaving the police back in 2013. And that was absolute burnout completely. And that's when we decided to take a stance, and we were going to focus on health and we were going to focus on well-being. And burnout has only come about within the past year and a half, because we've sat back and we've looked at what is it we actually do? How do we actually help people? And we almost realized it was criminal that we weren't doing this. And helping, you know, other business owners, other people in professional jobs to be able to work and have that good work-life balance and manage their energy. And we realized, hang on a second, that's what we're doing here. You know, we're running a successful business. We're actually able now, through our kind of mistakes and how
learning,
we live,
so-called
learning exactly, and through, you know, our 6 pillars of health and well-being that we teach to our guys, we were like, hang on a second, this is criminal that we're not doing this. And as Barry said, the past year has been one of the most difficult years for so many people. And we're hearing about so many business owners, so many health professionals, so many other busy professionals who are in this state of burnout. And the thing is, we need those people to be firing on all cylinders, because they're the ones that are going to help us pick up the economy and get things running again. And so Barry and I then set to, right, this is it. This is what we need to focus our skills around, because this is something we can really do to help people. And we have been helping people with, we just hadn't realized to that degree, you know.
But I think the weird thing about burnout is, Shannon, is you only know you have it when it hits you rock hard. And then you physically cannot do what you're doing. And that's where most people say, I've got burnout. But how nice would it be to have this awareness around what burnout is?
Yeah.
And so you can see it building, and we can put systems and processes in place to stop you hitting burnout. And we can manage it at the start rather than when your body just shuts down, basically.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's so profound. It's so wise, because a lot of people don't even realize it. I mean, you can feel like, God, I'm so burned out. I don't know why. I don't know what to do about it. And that's going to be the majority of people. But you guys have helped hundreds and hundreds, thousands of people with all different walks of their physical and mental well-being. And this is just going to be everybody. I mean, this is everybody right now. And it doesn't matter if you are stay at home, if you are working from home, now you're back in the office. And now in America, we're back at masking and stuff because the Delta variant is so rampant here. And there's a new variant coming out. So it's, people are just tired, just so tired. But, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You help everybody. But like I said, a lot of people don't even know they have it. They don't know what it is. And so why do you think people struggle to admit or talk about their burnout?
I think it's a stigma. I think it's a stigma like mental health. It's almost deemed to be a weakness, especially within, so you've got two camps here. So you've got busy professionals who don't want to admit to it because they might have to have time off. Their pecking order in the office goes down. They get, not very well respected. Their bosses are like, what's work burnout? I'll sleep when I'm dead. Do you know what I mean? Kind of.
Yes, attitude. I know exactly. Yeah.
And then I think with when it comes to business owners, it's that feeling of shame and feeling like it's a weakness. That, oh my gosh, I can't even cope with doing my job. And the words, I should be able to blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean?
And also, I think it's worry as well. If I take my foot off the gas when I'm running my own business, is my business going to fold? Is my clients going to sort of go somewhere else looking for something else?
Yeah.
But everybody I've spoken to when it comes to that type of thing, it's the exact opposite what happens. If you're delivering a really amazing service to your clients and you explain to them what's going on, they respect the hell out of you. Yeah. And they will give you back what you give them. So
we've always been very open and honest. I mean, with my journey through mental health and through my journey with burnout, we've always been very open and honest. And yes, that has made us think, will our clients leave us? And does that mean to say we're not practicing what we're preaching? That kind of stuff. But the thing is, it's a real thing. We're all amazing human beings. I mean, being a human being is amazing, right? But we all are overworked. And that's what burnout is. Burnout is when you are overworked, right? And all of us get to that phase, but I definitely think there's this shame, this guilt, this fear of judgment, and that's why people aren't speaking about it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. People are so afraid to talk about how they're feeling mentally. People are very worried about that. And to me, it's something that if you don't have your mental health, you can't possibly have your physical health.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
It's there. You say there are 3 dimensions of burnout.
Yeah.
And as you talk about them, let's hear what they are and how they affect people's lives.
Okay. So let me explain to you. So the 3 dimensions of burnout. So these came from a study. All right. That was published by World Psychiatry back in 2016. And the whole premise of that study was to understand the burnout experience and they wanted to see how, by using psychiatry, they could get people back into, work again, because that was the goal. And so it was studied by Christina Maslach, who was University of Berkeley, and Michael Leiter from the Acadia University. And they determined that there were 3 dimensions of burnout. And so what we've done is we've looked at those and then we've added our version to it as well. Okay.
Yes.
So the 3 dimensions of burnout that were discovered in the study were exhaustion, cynicism, and powerlessness.
I think everybody's felt that lately.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, we've paired exhaustion with the physical side of burnout. Mm-hmm. The cynicism we've paired with the mental side of burnout, and the powerlessness we've paired with the emotional side of burnout. And then what we've done is we've then put our 6 health and well-being pillars towards them on how to combat them. So do you want us to go into a little bit more about the dimensions?
Yes, I was just going to have you do that, and then maybe talk about the pillars, because I know what they are, but they make perfect sense, and people actually have it all backwards. They, once you list off the pillars of health and you pair them with burnout, people are going to say, oh, I get it. I finally get it, but they still need help. And that's why we're all here. But yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So exhaustion and physical is those feelings of depletion, right? Absolutely exhausted, and really feeling very tired and very worn out. So the kind of things you'll be seeing with this is, not much movement, can't be bothered to exercise. Maybe you're starting to get aches and pains, and, maybe you're gaining weight, that kind of thing, isn't it?
And a lot of people gain weight with this dimension is because they're looking for the external stimuluses. They're eating high calorie foods. They're drinking the caffeinated drinks all the time just to make themselves feel a little bit more energetic and a little bit more, let's have some
happy stuff, the comfort foods.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing. And, when you say exhaustion and physical side, we all kind of know what that is. Mm-hmm. Now, we have paired this with our pillars of health and well-being, which we'll go into in a little bit. Do you know what I mean? We'll just go through this first. Okay, the second one that we looked at was cynicism, and we paired this with the mental side. Now, Shannon. Oh, so this is a huge one.
Okay.
Because so many people, when they hear this one, when they do like our energy reset or our energized leadership program, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for being in this dimension and feeling this.
Right.
So what is it? It is literally where you have a very negative approach to yourself, to life, and to other people, right? Inappropriate behavior, very judgmental, almost having angry outbursts, seeing the world as a bad place, and losing your faith in the world, in the people around you. And it's if you was to pair this with an energy, I feel like it would be quite a busy, tussling, red kind of pulsing energy of like anger.
I was going to say it's very aggressive.
Yeah.
The energy that you feel inside of you is very aggressive, very frustrating, it's a very negative way of looking at the world. And I'm seeing a lot of people out there being very snappy, very forthright, and it's not a nice place to be, but it's not a nice place to be around as well.
I think one of my clients described it as almost like a gremlin had got in her head. Do you know what I mean?
It's so true. And I think that people do that to themselves as well, as they start, like, they'll drop something that's just innocently, I just dropped something, and they just go all ballistic on themselves.
Shannon?
Like, I'm so stupid, or this, and that's
the
part
key
of
here,
that.
Shannon. We do it all to ourselves.
Yes.
Everything of this is all done by our own doings. And that's the great thing, though, because we can undo it by our own undoings as well.
And this dimension, like this phase, a lot of people are like, oh gosh, I can't believe it. And it's like, hey, it's okay, right? It's okay to feel like this. A lot of people have. So that's the cynicism phase, right? Then we've got powerlessness, which is the emotional phase, which is where you are feeling like your power has been taken from you. Right. So you're starting to feel like you're no good, you're not worthy, you're questioning your skills and talents and wondering whether you're ever going to make it. You might feel quite emotional a lot of the time and have outbursts and not, realize why you feel sad. You're comparing yourself a lot with this. You might find you're scrolling on social media and you're feeling bad, about everything else. And so this one is a very kind of heavy energy. Yeah, definitely. Very heavy. Some might say that this is maybe borderline with depression. Do you know what I mean? Because we almost feel within that kind of space of sadness and gloom and that kind of thing.
That depression is very heavy as well, but because you can't be depressed when we're running around and moving ourselves really vibrantly and lightly. You can't feel that depression. Depression only comes when we sit still.
Yeah.
So
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Very much sits with that, the depression and that type of this with the powerlessness.
So you see, we've got those 3 phases, and I hopefully your listeners are like, okay, I get it now. Right. Yeah. Oh, I've seen myself. Because I think Baz and I are so passionate about talking about this, Shannon, because we want people to be informed.
Yes.
So they don't think, what is going on with me? What it's like, right, okay, this is what burnout looks like. These are the 3 dimensions. These are some of the symptoms. Oh my gosh. Okay, right. I'm definitely focusing. I'm definitely feeling the mental and cynicism side. Right. Okay. This is then what you can do with that. All right.
And I think it's great that Loz says it's really good that we inform people about the 3 dimensions, because it means that you're not broken. You don't need fixing. We just need to change the way you see the world, change the way you feel inside of you, and change things that we can do to actually help you. Nobody in this world is broken.
No.
We just need to upgrade our thinking, upgrade our mindset, upgrade the way we see things and how we act and how we behave, and upgrade about how we get the energy inside of us to transform.
Exactly.
And so now maybe people are starting to think, well, okay, well, how do I then fix this? Because that's obviously, you know, the monkey mind of our, you know, our existence, you know, I know this information. How do I now need to know how to fix it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and we can, you know, and the thing is, all this takes, and we'll let you know what the 6 pillars are in a second, and what they refer to.
Leaving them on the line then.
I know.
Dangling that carrot.
But all these takes, honestly, I swear to you, these are tiny little tweaks. And the stuff that Baz and I teach, as you know, Shannon, it's all very simple, basic, tiny little tweaks that make great, big, huge impacts.
I think that's why a lot of people struggle to make the change, to improve their life, is because they think they're so far down the rabbit hole, it's going to take this massive leap to get out the hole.
Right.
You're realistically, the outside of your hole is full with steps, and all we've got to do is take one small step at a time. You're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you can pull yourself out by taking one small step at a time. And this is what the 6 pillars are about. It's about doing things that you already do, but let's just make them a little bit better and improve them a little bit more.
Right. I have some health professionals that are really waiting and anxiously waiting to hear this podcast. I had one of my friends who was a nurse message me and say, and she said, I'm working 7 days a week, 12-hour days. Can I listen to this later? I'm like, of course, it's being recorded, but they are suffering burnout. Our hospitals are jammed right now again. And this is going to help so many people, because you're right. It is one step at a time, and it makes it simple. And so therefore it makes it sustainable.
Yeah. Okay. So should we go into the 6 pillars then, and how this can help?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So just let's just lay them out on the table. So our 6 pillars are in this order: sleep, hydration, nutrition, movement or exercise, whatever you want to call it, de-stress me time, thought management, and de-stress me time.
Yes.
Okay. So how do these fit in with the 3 dimensions? So let's take the exhaustion physical phase, right? Feeling completely worn out, you know, depleted of energy, can't be bothered to move. We have paired these with the first 4. So the way that we remedy exhaustion and physical is sleep, hydration, nutrition, and movement. Okay.
In that order, by the way.
In that order. Because a lot of us, we go straight into exercise.
Yes.
We want to move our body. But if we're not hydrated, when we're not rested, we're not fueling our body, we are just putting more stress, because we all know exercise is a stressful thing. It's a stimulus that we apply to our body. So if we're not rested, we're not hydrated, we're not nourished our body properly, then why are we going to go straight into exercise and put more demands on our body? It's crazy. But this is why we put sleep. Let's just mend our body, mend our mind. Let's give it the rest it needs, so we can actually have focus, and we can start implementing the other pillars.
Yes.
I definitely, you know, one tip for sleep, because I know everybody is kind of probably going to be looking for tips, which we're more than happy to give away them. Number 1 would be sleep consistency. Yep. So making sure that you go to bed at the same time and up at the same time. so that, you know, you're doing that. And also by having an evening and a morning routine and making sure that your bedroom is a haven to be in.
Sleep environment is a massive one.
Yeah.
Huge.
Really focus on what your bedroom is really like. Because I got a little bit of a story here, because when I worked in the prison service, I used to go around and do cell inspections with the prisoners, and you could see the ones that were working well through their sentence by the way they looked after their cell and their sleeping quarters. And the ones that didn't do well going through their sentence, their cell, their living quarters were like horrendous.
Right.
So even back then, I was noticing the difference. I was thinking, this person's taking care of where they're living, where they're sleeping, and they're actually moving through the sentence, or addressing their behavior really well. But the other people, not a chance. So sleep is like, it's paramount.
And, you know, when
Definitely.
we say morning and evening routines, we're not talking about anything massive. It could just be having a shower before you go to bed and putting some moisturizer on. In the morning, it could be just taking 5 or 10 minutes to eat your breakfast in peace, because we're all in the, you know, the sympathetic nervous system, we're all in the fight and flight, and we just need to calm it down a little bit. Okay. That's sleep.
Yeah, I'd say don't snooze, because that puts you on the back foot and you're going to be running around.
Exactly.
Right.
There you go. That's your tip. Yeah.
My tip, just don't snooze. Well, as soon as you wake up, start your day.
Yeah.
Definitely hydration. So a lot of people say, well, I forget to drink, you know, and it's like, okay, well, here's the way how to do that. With breakfast, lunch and dinner, okay, have 500 milliliters. I'm not sure what that is in ounces in America.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, exactly. Of water.
16 ounces maybe.
There you go.
Yeah.
And by the time you've done the rest of the day, you would have done 1.5 milliliters water, which I think
1.5 liters.
1.5 liters of water, which I think is about 6 ounces or something.
No, more than 6 ounces.
Oh, really?
That's like that could be a gallon. I'll look it up.
Yeah. So that's what I would absolutely recommend. Obviously, start to swap out some of your caffeine for your water, because that will actually give you more energy. You know, drinking, a lot of people go for the caffeine to give them that hit, but it's like going into, JC Penney's and paying for your shopping with Mickey Mouse money from Disneyland. Right. You might have lots in your back pocket, but you're not going to get very far with it. Do you know what I mean?
That's why you call that American store there.
Yeah, well, I know, because we've been there, so it's all good.
That's great. Awesome.
So nutrition obviously is just about cleaning things up a little bit. And again, we're not asking you to go keto overnight and vegan overnight and, you know, that's it. I'm not going to eat carbs. No.
You'll hear us talking about one word: nourishment.
Yeah.
It's not about calorie deficits. It's not about cutting your carbs or whatever it is, eating high protein diets. Let's just focus on nourishment.
Yeah,
it makes a world of difference, because all we're ever told when it comes to nutrition is about fat loss diets, training hard, gaining protein to increase your muscle mass. This is not what this is about. This is about just nourishing your body and giving it the fuel it needs to survive and to thrive.
Yeah.
And let me add, that includes carbs and fats.
100%.
Absolutely.
That's where your energy comes from. Your energy does never come from protein. So
And, you know, we just was reviewing one of our modules on the Energized Leadership Program, and we talk about nourishing your body, but we also talk about blessing your food. You know, so here's the thing. A lot of the people that we work with will be eating on the go, eating on the run, right? And our body cannot digest our food properly when we're in that state, because we're in fight or flight. Right. So we need to be able to just take some time to sit down and eat our meals. Do you know what I mean? Just so that we are going into that rest and digest state. And then we've got obviously exercise and movement for this dimension as well. And, you know, you don't need to be going to a CrossFit class. You don't need to be going running. You don't need to do anything like that.
Thank you for not telling me I don't need to run.
Exactly.
we talk about two aspects here. We talk about exercise and we talk about being physically active. And when we first start off, let's just be physically active, because exercise is about having a specific outcome, a specific goal. With being physically active, it's just about getting our body moving, getting our toxins out of our body, because when we sit down, we're like a pool of water. We become stagnant and smelly, and toxins go through the roof. Yeah. By just moving your body, it flushes the lymphatic system through, and it starts getting rid of the toxins, and it starts lifting that fogginess in our body, the heaviness in our body. It starts diminishing the powerlessness in our body. So just look at the physical activity and being physically active before we even look at exercise.
I mean, even just a walk for 10, 15 minutes, breathing, getting outside, maybe if you want to take your shoes and socks off and walk on the grass, it's these sorts of things. So you can see these are not massive things we're asking or giving you advice on. Right. It's such tiny stuff, right?
Things you do every day, but let's just fine tune them.
So then if we look in the cynicism and mental side, we've paired that with pillar number 5, which is thought management. So this is about the language that we've got going on in our head. And sometimes when we're in this phase, it's because we've come too far from our values. So sometimes it's time to just check in with your values, check in with your why, check in with your goal and what you're most passionate about, and really just try and ignite that again. By journaling is fantastic, using I am statements, affirmations, to really put yourself back in the power seat. But the other one with this, you need to have a detox of what you're inputting. So when I say that is, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Yes. What are you reading? What are the conversations you're having? What are you looking at on social media? Get rid of it, right?
Because you're right.
Even the news, me and we don't
turn it off.
Listen to the news no more, because news, and especially like soaps on TV, I don't know whether you get soaps out there or whatever it is, it's all about the drama. And drama sells, and we are fixated with this drama that we have to have input, but it does us no good on the cynicism phase. It just destroys us from inside.
It does. You just absorb that. You absorb all of that, and then you project it out. So all it is detrimental to your health.
That energy is transferable. We're listening to it, and it comes as an energy, and that energy is absorbed through our body, and it stagnates in our body. So we need to get rid of that energy.
And I know very much for us, when we're in this phase with our clients, we very much talk to them about journaling and manifesting in terms of what you're attracting into your life, and being able to understand your thoughts. And from a thought, you will get an emotion, and from an emotion, you will get a behavior. So we very much take it right back. So I would definitely say, have a look at your values, reassess your goals, and have a detox, and start to just journal some things down.
Yes, right? Journaling is a brilliant idea. It's just wonderful.
Absolutely. Do it every single day. Do my 10 gratitudes every single day. And I love it. I love it. And then the last one is powerlessness. And we have paired this with de-stress me time. So I would ask your clients, or your guys that are listening, when was the last time you had a good laugh? And I mean a belly laugh where you give a snort. Do you know what I mean? Or like bogies fly out of your nose or whatever it is, right? This is what we need to do here, is lighten the mood. Okay. Yes. And this is where grounding will come in. Hobbies will come in, maybe you do a bit of crocheting or something like that. For me, the big one with this, I watched comedy every single day, right? Comedy, to just really lift my mood with this one. This is huge. Works. Yeah.
It's about doing stuff that fills your cup up. That you enjoy doing, that you look forward to, stuff you can do with the family, the friends, get outside and do it in nature, whatever it is. Do it that puts that smile on your face and not feel guilty for doing it.
Exactly. I've had people say that they'll watch a commercial on TV and they'll start tearing up and feel all emotional because it's such a lovely sentiment portrayed in that commercial, like watching a Hallmark movie or something like that. And I'm like, I get it. I'm right there with you, for sure. Because it brings out the good emotions. Everyone needs that.
Definitely. And, when we're in this powerlessness phase and this kind of emotional phase, we're just feeling so low on ourselves and life. Yes. And, I know for me, I coloured in. Superheroes like Wonder Woman, Superman, I love all that kind of stuff. That's all I did was color in for a week.
Oh, nice.
And you just get a little bit of satisfaction about it. You feel like you've got a bit of a win, and you're like, do you know what I mean? It just makes you feel great. So definitely from that side of thing, one good trick here would be to get one of the sad lamps. So
Right.
I have a light box on my desk that I'll put on for an hour or two a day. And I have to say that really does help with my mood and my creativity as well. You can get them from Amazon for like 20 quid, something like that.
You can get everything from Amazon.
I know, right?
I know. So that hopefully that's given you a very brief, but
good insight to what they
value into those, and maybe some things that you guys can do to help yourself if you're in that stage at the moment.
And you guys, speaking of value, you guys give value every second of every day to every person, and it's heartwarming, and you see the results. I mean, I'm in your groups, you see the results. I watch the people in there, and there are people that sometimes they'll get a result and then they'll revert back to their old stuff. And then they'll remember and they'll come back and do what you said to do. Because if you have them journal like you do, and that's what I do with my people too, and you have them journal, not only like write down what you eat, write down how much water you drank, that kind of stuff, but I have them journal, of course, how they feel any given time of any given day, because if they'll go back and look at it and they'll say, yeah, I remember feeling like that today. I feel great today. Write that down, but you guys have helped so many people. And I would love for you to give your contact information and the groups that people can find out about to join that will help them. Anything you and I can pass along to people to help them mentally and physically, that's what we do together. So
if you come and find us on Instagram, we are Rock Solid UK. On Facebook, we are Rock Solid Healthy. If you want to email us, then probably best to email me because Baz is terrible.
You know how that goes.
Which is Laura Ash at rocksolidhealth.co.uk, and our website is rocksolidhealth.co.uk. We are going to be looking at doing a quiz on burnout, which you can do yourself, and then we'll send you some tips so that you'll know where you are at the moment. And I'm going to be setting up a Facebook group specifically for people who are experiencing this, so that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So just keep an eye on our social media, and the invites there will be up, and you'll definitely see them.
Excellent. Do you want to give your email out one more time?
Yeah, it's Laura Ash, all joined together, all lowercase, at rocksolidhealth.co.uk.
And that's how you can find out when this the quiz is happening, and you can get on their email list, which is a great place to be, guys. And if you need to contact me, which I hope you do, you can find me at www.sp, my name, Shannon Price, just the initials, spthemindmechanic.com. And you can also download free ebooks and a free gratitude journal just to navigate your life, to help you. You can find my podcast on all your favorite listening sites and at my new YouTube podcast site at Shannon Price, the Mind Mechanic. So I want to thank Laura and Barry Ash for joining me today, because they are my true loves. And, they don't have a bad thought in their head. It's all good stuff. It's all positive, and you will benefit from their experience. You will benefit from their life and what they've done and what they've accomplished. So feel free to get a hold of all of us at any time. And we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
See
Bye.
ya,
Thank
bye.
you.
Thanks.